Hi friends, this is Lee from Agape Studios in Edmonton, Alberta. I want to make um, a continuing video of a reading of this book that made its way into my home called Inward by a writer with the pen name Young Pueblo. And when I read this book, it really helped me on my journey inward. And so it's the best tool I've found in my experience so far that is just a great aid for being able to understand how to go inward. It's pretty much a roadmap, and all you have to do is listen to the words, and it's helped me immensely to look at myself, to look at my shadows, to do the shadow work. So I want to share with you, and I really hope that if you are going to follow this series, that it brings you um, more revelations about who you truly are. And so um, I'm going to encourage you first is a way that I like to clear my energy before I go into something, because the energies that we face every day when we go to the grocery store, at work, that energy of a lower vibrational frequency, at the end of the day, you're just drained. So a good way to clear that energy, it's very important to detach yourself from it, especially when you're at home where it's supposed to be your safe space. And so I close my eyes and I put on some good meditative music, and I invite you to do so if you want to follow along. Just a brief meditation, just to allow the eyes to close down, to be able to just then be aware of the breath and following it, feeling it come in and out of the nose um, as you breathe up and down, and follow it up and down your spine. And notice the quality of your breath when you're breathing in and out. Is it shallow? Is it in your chest? If you do find that it is, perhaps I invite you to lengthen the breath and follow it into your belly and fill your belly with your breath. And as you breathe out, you're emptying your belly and pulling your belly, all the air out, and pulling it towards your spine. And just holding it here for 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And releasing that, filling your air, belly full of air. And when you hold your belly against your spine, it's massaging your polyvagal nervous system, which calms your autonomic nervous system in your body, which releases a calming effect on your body. Continue to do this, and when you breathe in and out, notice if you're holding any tension in your face, in your brow, in your jaw, in your uh, shoulders, in your neck. Just be aware of it and just allow yourself to relax. And as you breathe in, picture a platinum rain or a platinum waterfall just going through your body, and with it washes away all of the energy that's stuck to us from other people. And just picture, as you breathe in and out, as you allow the release to be in your body as you breathe, picturing that platinum rain just washing away down into the earth as the earth supports you. And as you continue to breathe for a few minutes, just allow your mind to be silent as you follow your breath up and down. And if any thoughts come up, just let them pass by like a cloud without judgment. Notice how it makes you feel, and then continue to bring your awareness to your breath, in and out of your nose, feeling the coolness on the tip of your nose. And when you feel you're ready, then you can either sit and listen to the words of this book, Inward. And I'm going to begin, and I encourage you just to listen to the words and just go on a journey with me within. and see what comes up for you. And I would love to hear in the comments below, if you are following along, what does come up for you. So I'm going to read everything, the table of contents and everything. Two of the great lessons humanity will learn in the 21st century will be: to harm another is to harm oneself. When you heal yourself, you heal the world. Reclaim your power. Heal yourself. Love yourself. Know yourself. These phrases are becoming more and more common. Why? Because they are the pathways to our own freedom and happiness. Contents: distance, union, interlude, self-love, understanding. Distance. Before I could release the weight of my sadness and pain, I first had to honor its existence. I was never addicted to one thing. I was addicted to filling a void within myself with things other than my own love. To solely attempt to love others without loving yourself, is to build a home without a strong foundation. Three things make life harder: not loving yourself, refusing to grow, not letting go. I lived so long with a closed heart, not because I was afraid to get hurt, but because I was afraid of the pain I had hidden away. Before we can heal and let go, what ails us deeply must first come to the surface. I spent so much time creating versions of myself that were far from the truth. Characters I would perform depending on who was around. Layers that could hide the inner dance of turmoil. Between my lack of confidence, the pain I did not understand, and the uneasiness that comes with reaching out to others for the love that I was not giving myself before the healing. I kept running away from my darkness until I understood that in it I would find my freedom. Many of us walk the earth as strangers to ourselves, not knowing what is true, why we feel what we feel, actively working to repress experiences or ideas that are too jarring for us to observe and release. It is a paradox occurring in the human mind. We run away from what we do not want to face, from what brings feelings of pain, and from problems we don't have answers to. But in our running away from ourselves, we are also running away from our own freedom. It is through the observation of all that we are and accepting what we observe with honesty and without judgment that we can release the tension that creates delusions in the mind and walls around the heart. This is why the keys to our freedom lie in our darkness. Because when we observe our darkness by bringing our light of awareness inward, the ego begins to dissipate into nothingness, and the subconscious slowly becomes understood. The mind is full of shadows, but shadows cannot withstand the patience and perseverance of light. Our minds can become like stars, powerful, united fields of pure light. But unlike a star, the healed mind will dwell in awareness and wisdom. When we disconnect from our pain, we stop growing. When we are dominated by our pain, we stop growing. Freedom is observing our pain, letting it go, and moving forward. Middle path. It is not love if all they want from you is to fulfill their expectations. One of my greatest mistakes was believing that another person could hold together all the pieces of me. Make sure the walls you build to protect yourself do not become a prison. Changes in the external world can cause great misery when we do not know how to engage and heal ourselves. Moments of pain and discomfort, or encounters with ideas that may break the mental images we have created of the world, are normally things we not only run away from, but also things we build walls to defend ourselves from. These walls we build in our minds and hearts make sense when we don't know any better. We all have the right to protect ourselves from pain, but be aware that these walls can turn from protection into prison. The more walls we build around ourselves, the less space we have to grow and to be free. We have a harder time releasing the habits that cause misery when we are surrounded by the psychological walls we have constructed, causing us to stagnate and fall into a rhythm where we are always running within a space that is slowly growing smaller. The opposite of this mode is of being is to have a practice that helps us to go deep within ourselves to dissolve the walls, to heal the patterns that cause us pain, to release burdens and traumas, and to discover the universe that dwells inside each of us. When we journey inward and release the blocks that we first built as walls, we naturally begin to create a new and wider space of awareness. Now, when things happen in the external world, we have more space and time to examine how we would like to respond, as opposed to reacting blindly and reinforcing old patterns. The body contains our past emotions. Healing work creates space for the release of what we felt long ago. Don't run away from heavy emotions. Honor the anger. Give pain the space it needs to breathe. This is how we let go. Reminder: when the body is tired, the mind will often create worries to focus on. Ask yourself often, am I observing the situation accurately, or am I projecting how I feel onto what is happening? Sometimes we feel like exploding, not because of anything or to hurt anyone, but simply because we are growing, releasing, letting the old parts die so that new habits, new ways of being have space to live. Shedding. Sometimes deeper mental clarity is preceded by great internal storms. Healing yourself can be messy. Seeing yourself through honesty can be jarring and tough. It can even temporarily cause imbalance in your life. It is hard work to open yourself up to release your burdens, like removing thorns from your body. It may hurt at first, but it is ultimately in your highest good. The dark clouds of rainfall are necessary for new growth. An apology to past lovers. I wasn't ready to treat you well. I didn't know love was meant to be selfless. I didn't know my pain had control over my actions. I didn't know how far away I was from myself and how that distance always kept us miles apart. Blind heart. When passion and attachment come together, they are often confused for love. I spent most of my life trying to prove to myself and others that I had no pain and felt no sorrow. Some people hit rock bottom before they change themselves drastically, because at that distance, they can best see who they really want to be. Questions. Am I being honest with myself? Am I allowing myself the space to heal? Am I being compassionate and patient towards myself when I am not meeting my goals as quickly as I had intended? Am I doing what I need to do to thrive? And I'm going to leave it there and continue on as we look into the ego on the next reading. If any of this resonated with you and touched your heart in any way, that sheds light onto who you are, I would really love to hear from you, where you're from, and what comes up for you with these words, with your own experience. So until next time, on our next reading, I hope you join me. I hope that you share if this resonates with you, or if you think that it might help somebody else in their own journey. And may we find compassion and love for one another in this experience, as we're each in many different places um, in our spiritual journeys, in our external journeys here on this earth plane. So I encourage you to deeply meditate on these words. And until next time, thank you for joining me on this episode of Inward. Namaste, friends.